thank you to the organizers for inviting me. I learned a lot during this meeting, and I hope you all enjoyed this conference as I did. Well, in fact, I was asked to try to identify how soil biodiversity may move from the research area to the real economy. So I try to identify what is still needed for that. Just okay. So just a few words on ADEME. ADEME is the French environmental agency, and it deals also with energy management. I'm in the department in charge of agriculture and forest, and we deal with agriculture and forest links with climate change, including emissions from agriculture and carbon storage, either in the biomass or in the soils. We also deal with forest and agriculture as a resource for renewable energy and materials. We also work on the links between food, feed, fuel, and climate change. For those we will look at how the diets impact climate change, and also how the land use changes linked to the development of biofuels also impact climate change. And last but not least, because it's my job in fact, we work on soil protection and soil monitoring. And on all those issues, we finance research and PhDs to support policies, and we also support communication and education. And for those of you who don't have the game, the game was developed with Tiffany Chevalier, that is in the room. For those of you who don't have that game, there are still English copies, so feel free to take one during the coffee break. It's a game to learn with children, to play with soil biodiversity animals. So, well, I divided my talk in three main items. The first one is what are the coming challenges and the opportunities for soil biodiversity. I will mainly focus on agriculture because it's my main domain of expertise. And the second question is, in fact, are we, you, because you work on soil biodiversity, are you ready to face those challenges and make use of these opportunities? And if not, what is still needed to jump, in fact, into soil economy? So the coming challenges for agriculture, in fact, we talk about that during all the week. We have to fit the world in the context of climate change and competition for land, meaning that we have to increase the food production, but we have to also to consider that soils are not only used for food production, they are also used for bioproducts, for bioenergy, but also we need to have to keep natural ecosystems, so we need to also to preserve soils for that. So land competition, climate change. We also have to reduce the consumption of the energy consumption, to increase the competitiveness of agriculture, because you all know that energy costs are increasing. And yesterday, someone said that soils are addicted to fertilizers. I may say that agriculture is also addicted to oil, because we use fuel, we use fertilizers, we use pesticides. So agriculture is oil dependent. And we also need to reduce or make a better use of those inputs to decrease the emissions and the contaminations. So we are facing that equation: do more food, more feed, more fiber, more fuel, with less inputs, less water, less soil. So, of course, we need to intensify, but we can not do it as we have yet done with more fertilizers. So we should move from oil to soil. I took that expression in the book written by Vandana Shiva. She wrote a book called Soil, Not Oil, so I share that feeling with her. We should move from oil to soil. And soil organisms are, in fact, part of that solution. We all know that. Richard this morning told us soil organisms can help to grow and protect plants. We may use our knowledge on soil biodiversity for ecological intensification. And soil organisms make soil more resilient and resistant to stresses, including climate change. So, are we ready, in fact, to develop this new economy? And from my point of view, what is needed is that we need methods to measure soil biodiversity. Open that black box and look at the organisms and look at what they are doing. We also need reference values to interpret those results. And finally, we should be able to make recommendations to maintain, improve, or manipulate soil biodiversity. That's my feeling. So do we have methods? In fact, many. I just put here the 20 ISO standards. There's an ISO committee dealing with soil quality. It's ISO TC 119. And well, I don't want you to look at all the standards, but there are existing methods, and those methods were developed with a consensus, meaning that everyone shared that method. Just to summarize those methods, in fact, the main steps in the late 90s to 2005, in fact, there was a huge development of methods on soil microbial biomass, soil respiration, and enzymatic activities. And from 2006 to 2012, in fact, there was the development of methods for the sampling of soil invertebrates. And since the last years, we have now two methods based on DNA. So now the methods are more or less stabilized, the results become comparable, and costs start to decrease and will still decrease. Just think about the decrease of the costs for sequencing DNA that are still decreasing. So we have the methods. Then, we have already too many, I don't know, tools, because then it's difficult to make the choice, because when you have 21 or more than 21, are we able to interpret the data and make a diagnosis? In fact, I took it's not my blood analysis, but I took as an example, a blood analysis for cholesterol, and you have the value, and here you have the normal range, meaning that you can interpret the data. So do we have, for all kind of parameters, that normal range, depending on different kind of soils, different kind of climatic situations? In fact, it's starting. We saw that during this conference. There are several references, existing databases. I just put the French one, because ADEME, as Philippe said, ADEME financed a huge national program on the development of bioindicators. And so we developed a website that was presented by Genola 2 days ago. And on that website, you can extract values. I took the earthworm values, for example, with the different situations. And you can have average values, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, for a lot of indicators. But of course, there are other. We saw also the development of the EDAFO base in Germany, and we have also a database for Australia. So we start having those normal values, let's say, to interpret the results of our methods. Then, what else? I have a result, and then I will be, or I'm yet able to interpret it regarding to existing data. Two situations, I'm in the range, nice. I'm managing well my soil, but how could I maintain or improve it? Is it the optimal, or can I still improve it? Problem, I'm out of the range. Why? Can you tell me why? Can you identify what's wrong with my management? And I need to change something, but what? How should I improve my soil biodiversity and my soil functioning? And so we come to the last point. How can I improve or manipulate soil biodiversity? In fact, we saw during the conference many what I call general solutions, meaning that we know that management practices, no tillage, minimum tillage, organic matter amendments, or actions to feed the soil organisms, rotation, cover crops, plant associations, even landscape management, edges, agroforestry, connectivity between patches. We know that all of that managements have an influence on soil biodiversity and soil functioning. But to my opinion, but again it's my opinion, these are two general rules. I don't think we are yet able to adapt our recommendation to very specific situations. I mean, one kind of soil, one kind of crop in one situation. Do we have a panel of expertise to make an advice for the farmers? And I think we still miss that point, actually. So how to make a progress on that? I see, in fact, two possible ways. One is to maintain, develop, and analyze long-term observatories. That's more or less what we have saw during this conference, because those observatories made by research are well designed, they are controlled. Then we are able to identify domain drivers to study and describe the mechanisms, and then we can try to communicate the results. But it's sort of a top-down research. And to my opinion, we have too few sites. In fact, one site is dedicated to, I don't know, organic matter amendment, another one to till, no till, for example. So we are not mixing all the possibilities, all the practices. And I think one way to go forward is to investigate real life situation. I mean, going to the field with farmers. And we saw yesterday a farmer, an organic farmer, with, and this is a picture also for a farmer making no-till, where you see maize with sainfoin, a mixture. And I think we have to investigate and ask, because farmers are innovating, because they are confronted to a lot of variations, climatic variations, but also various demands for crops production. So they are innovative. There are a lot of farmers that are innovative. And so we have to ask them about their local knowledge, their local experiences, or they adapted to their pedoclimatic conditions, and, for example, why they use such rotations. Because this farmer here has very nice yields, no problem, no soil problem, but you don't know why. You don't know if it's because of the association of the two plants, because of the soil fauna, because of the soil microflora, and he is ready to open his fields for research. And this can be more easy to communicate the results then. The communication may be easier because it's sort of a bottom-up research. You go to the field to discuss with you analyze the results, and then you can communicate quite easily with the farmer. I think that's the way we also should go for that. And we have experience in France. We have a research project financed by the Ministry of Agriculture. It's called AgriNov, and it's led by INRA. And they go and analyze real life situations. And so I think it's a way to go. And as a first conclusion, well, we have methods. Stop developing new ones, start harmonizing the methods. We have reference and normal values, so continue to share, collect, organize the data, make it public. We have to, I think, improve our recommendation and communicate the results. And the last point I want to say is to try also to identify and promote KISS indicators. KISS meaning keep it simple and stupid. I mean, very simple indicators that farmers may follow the changes in their soils because they are changing their practices, but they have to see if it's functioning or not. So something easy to monitor. So of course, I focus this bioeconomy on agriculture, but there are a lot of fields, in fact, in which soil biodiversity may be very interesting. I mean, you have the development of industrial enzymes to degrade organic matter, and here you have a table with a lot of enzymes that are extracted from soil that can be used to degrade organic matter to produce biomaterials, biofuels, for example. You also have the development of a lot of research on the degradation of contaminants and the management of contaminated land. Here you have the different metagenomic studies on the degradation of hydrocarbons. And you also have the development of research on for example, on screening of antibiotics in soils. And of course, also you can try to manage the mitigation of, you can try to manage soil to mitigate climate, and many other examples. So could soil be a new El Dorado? Because we all depend on soil. Well, I'm convinced that soil and soil biodiversity would be a part of a new economic activity. So in soil we trust. And to finish, I thank you for your attention. And I remember you that next year it's the International Year of Soil, so be ready to make a lot of noise for soils. Thank you.